right, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. We are here with our Facebook Live update for North Tonawanda City Schools, and my name is Greg Wojtyla, Superintendent of Schools. So we have a couple of things I'll go over twice, I guess, because we always get more people on towards the end of the broadcast, but some good things happening. The first thing is that we developed a resource line for families. So if you're having trouble struggling coping with work and schoolwork and the hybrid model, child care, daycare issues, maybe paying your rent or mortgage, looking for food and clothing, or just mental health, we have a resource hotline. So that number will be posted online. It hopefully will come up in the link shortly as well here in our comments, but all of our school numbers are 807. So you're going to dial the 716 for the Buffalo area. 807 is our first three in the exchange, and then 3571. In this, will prompt you to leave a message, but we will be checking it Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 every day. And we hopefully then can call you back, see a little bit more detail about what you need, what kind of help you need, and then link you up with some local entities that can probably point you in a further direction or get you the help you need. So that'll be the North Tonawanda Resource Helpline. And once again, it is 716-807-3571, and we will be posting that on our webpage. We'll be putting it in our newsletter, so that'll be up and running. It is up and running, but we'll be getting the number out to more and more as we go. Some of the news since last week is that on Monday this week, February 1st, we started with some of the winter sports, the high-risk sports. So the governor said that they could start in conjunction with local health departments. So Niagara County, Erie County got together. We met with them, and then in North Tonawanda, we are part of Section 6, and Section 6 got together to kind of go over some of those rules and regulations for indoor winter sports and keeping everybody safe. So those practices got started on Monday. Today's Wednesday already. The section at that time, last week when they were making all these decisions, decided no modified at this time. But since then, some of the NFL districts have decided to move forward with an abbreviated modified basketball. So boys and girls basketball modified will be starting February 22nd, with games being played in March. And this will give us time to ensure to open safely and operating the JV and varsity teams. We get to see how that runs for the next week or so. And then we'll open the registration on Family ID in the near future. So please visit the athletic website for more information. All students interested must register during the upcoming time frame. Even if you previously registered, you must go again to the Family ID and update the information that may have changed. So that is a good thing. We'll be sending a global call to all the middle school student families as well to let them know. And then we're also looking to do winter intramurals, which is some after-school activities for kids who might not be basketball players. So we're ebbing and flowing, taking it slow, but we're hoping to get everything back up, even if they're abbreviated sessions for the winter. The section did decide to push wrestling out to the spring, so that's on hold, but everything else will be continuing as we move forward. So let's hope that this is good news for a lot of people. It gives us a couple weeks before we get that up and running, and we'll get more information out after the global call and visit our webpage for our 7th and 8th graders. So that'll be good news for everybody with 7th and 8th graders who are looking to do some sports for at least an abbreviated season and get that up and running. So we talked about the tip line, we talked about sports. We want to remind everyone too, it's been a steady stream of appointments for registering for pre-K and kindergarten for the 21-22 school year. You can do that, start that process online. There are packets in the breezeway here on Walk Road at the administration building if you want to pick it up here. and then appointments are made online, and we're getting that up and running and taking place there. We're on our way to with second semester at the secondary school, especially the high school. So those are up and running. And we're looking at the numbers this week to see what those class sizes kind of shift out to be, so that we can look for how that might change over students coming back to school, and who's taking advantage of hybrid, who's taking remote, and what we need to go forward. So that's all in the works. That's all good stuff. The board meeting tonight is our first Wednesday of every month, and the board is going to be deep into the planning process for the budget. So budget numbers are still coming in slow. The governor gave us a proposal which was basically flat, and we need to look at how we can change that going forward. So as we move through the next couple of months to build a budget, there's information on our webpage that you can access. You can log in through the webpage at night to watch the meetings, and there will be meetings the first and third Wednesday of every month. In February, that's the 3rd and the 17th. So please take time to look that up and ask us your budget questions as we go forward. Someone posted the Resource Help Center line, so that's good. So if anyone needs help at this time, please give that a call and let them know. Is the district and the board putting together a planning committee for next year? Seems far away, but last year we had a long time to prepare and still were unprepared. We need to focus on getting these kids back to school full time. Makes more sense to have a plan in place for the worst case scenario, still needing social distancing, and maybe we won't need it. So it seems like we had a long time last year, but we didn't know if we were going to be able to open schools in September until August, when the governor said we could. So now we know that schools are open. The plan is how to open them more and more and more and more. So yes, we're constantly planning and meeting internally. We could open that up to have a couple of parents on it as well. Social distancing is our big hurdle to get past. But we don't know over the next couple months and over the summer what it will look like with the vaccine, and if then things will get, less restrictive. So we are planning on what 21-22 might look like. That's part of the budget planning as well that we do, and what changes and shifts might need to take place for September 21. Don't forget parents. The district board meeting is tonight at 5:45, located at 176 Walk Road. So let me just qualify 5:45. If you look at the announcement, we start at 5:45 and the board does an executive session, and then we come out at 6:30. So if you're planning on coming, seating is limited because of COVID, but you're welcome to come. And the meeting for the public will start at 6:30. So just kind of adjust your calendars if you're planning on coming for that. And yes, it would be good to get feedback. We will do a thought exchange again to get ready for that. Pretty much, though, the thoughts are we need our kids in school more, and we need to do that safely with social distancing, and then have a plan to be fair, right? So we can't just say one grade level gets it and another one doesn't without having a plan for that and why we feel that's important. So part of that will be the discussion tonight with the board anyways, so if you can't make it, make sure you tune in and watch. What about high school football? So right now, high school football got pushed to the spring from the fall, so we're hoping to wait and see what that looks like. It'll obviously be an abbreviated spring schedule for that. It's going to be interesting because if they do that, there are some people who like to wrestle and play football. Now they're at the same time, which they don't allow for that too often to happen, to play two sports just because of the practice time. And then we would be starting only a short time later with the regular August football season, but we are on track to have both seasons. Thank you. The remote kids for high school and elementary are very much finally virtual. They now have actual. I don't know what that is trying to say, but You're welcome. Classes as it is appreciated. Oh, I think she's finishing up. Wish middle. Okay, let's see. Will the hybrid students go back to normal school every day? So Beth, I think you're asking, will the hybrid students go back to normal school every day in September? We're hoping, if something happened, if this vaccine came out faster, that maybe they would have even been back every day this school year. Right now, with the way the vaccine has been held up, and now they're talking about these variants of COVID, right, that are coming in, we don't see that changing much. So we're working then to sort of say, don't upset the apple cart anymore this year, but for next year, what would that look like? Starting, a little bit stronger with virtual programming or more days in session and how we can do that. We look across New York State and across, all the states to see what models are in place and how other districts and other states are doing it. Taking in mind that we have to apply it in New York State rules then. So if the governor still requires social distancing or mask wearing or anything along those lines, we can have a great plan that, say, Nebraska puts in place, but we can't bring that to New York State because of our guidelines. So we'll always have to go back and look at that piece as well. But yes, that is the plan for all school districts, for sports, for education, for musicals, and all the extracurricular. Our program is to get back to normal, have art shows, have musicals, have sporting events as safely as possible right now. So I can guarantee you other school districts in Western New York will not do that. North Tonawanda won't be. If they're able to do it, we'll be able to do it. And we're constantly talking in Niagara County and with Erie County superintendents to see what makes the most sense and how we can stretch it, which is how we got to this abbreviated modified season for our 7th and 8th graders in modified basketball this winter. That was local superintendents and athletic directors talking to try and figure out a way to do that safely. So we're constantly doing that. We realize that in most people's eyes it's not enough and it's too late, but we do work on it daily. My son is supposed to be moving up in the fall from NTI, I think, but they wrote NTIC, and was wondering if there are openings for special ed. From North Carolina Learning Center maybe, and was wondering if there are openings for special ed at NTI and what services are available, speech, PT, etc. Okay, so Amanda, all that goes through a CSE committee on special education, where they look at the child's diagnosis, they look at the child's needs, what they're currently getting, and then they match a program for his best needs here in North Tonawanda. So you need to start with the special ed department if you're just transferring in. If you're moving up from one school to the next, that'll be scheduled, and there's those CSE meetings have started already this year for next year's placement. So start with our special ed department here at Walk Road and tell them when you think you're moving in or up, and they will take care of all those programs and offerings that we have to offer. We have small classes, we have inclusion classes, we have a whole gamut of things. So they should be able to find something that would match your needs. So we are just at the beginning of February, but it's astonishing to me that January's gone already. It seems to go fast. We know February is a short month, right? So we'll probably be here in March before you know it. But the next evening, Facebook Live with the superintendent to ask questions will be February 17th, and that'll take place after our policy and budget meeting. So it's usually around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So if you have trouble getting to the 2 o'clock ones that we do with the interpreter, we did schedule an evening one once a month, and it'll be February 17th. So hopefully you can take part of that. Next Wednesday is February 10th, and we will be back then to give you an update on any changes or things that happen. We're constantly talking with the Niagara County Department of Health, who had Not great news because they're putting in where they can do thousands of vaccines a day, and this week's shipment only had 400 in it. So the vaccine shortage is real. It is hitting Niagara County. They are doing their best not to cancel any appointments and only putting out appointments for what they know they have. So that's good news. And I hear that if you had an appointment in Erie County that got canceled, they are starting that process to go back to those people who had canceled appointments and make those in the future. But we're already getting to March and April, and there's a good 3-4 week span in between the first vaccination and the second vaccination shot. So we're going to be, May, June, and that's only for 1A and 1B people right now. So keep on that. Keep going to the Department of Health webpage trying to get your appointment if that's something that you're interested in getting. My daughter received PT at Spruce last year for kindergarten. She's now a full remote first grader, still at Spruce, but not receiving any type of PT. I'm assuming because she's fully remote. That is correct. Is there an option for virtual PT? It really benefits her so much. So physical therapy is a hard one to do virtually. We are looking at what it's called teletherapy, basically, that school districts can offer. We have more success with speech, that way, through the virtual camera and that. But through your CSE meeting again, if you're at Spruce and you're a Spruce person, that would be the place to ask that, what options they have for them. PT, at some point, we were talking about, going into the house, but then when COVID hit, that became an issue of sending, strangers into people's houses and them being exposed and you being exposed. So that's a hard one. But they'll take care of that at your CSE meeting, or you could call Spruce and see what the case manager there suggests. In the event that we need to social distance next year, would there be a way to have elementary students go in person all day, every day? So let's just look at the K-3 buildings, okay, and start there. And there's about 4 sections of each grade in a building. So at Ohio, that means there's 4 kindergartens, 4 first, 4 second, 4 thirds. So, and those classes, let's say, have 20 students in it. When we measured the classrooms out for social distancing and 6 feet for safety, some rooms could get 10, some could get 12. We kind of, in our elementary buildings, kind of tap out for the social distancing at 12. So that's about half a class. So in order to get everybody in, that would mean you'd need to duplicate that building, right? So that would mean 4, 8, 12, 16 more teachers to run in this hybrid model of 4 days and 4 days. So it's difficult to do that. I've talked to a few parents who would like to suggest that we use larger spaces in the building, such as the gym or the cafeteria, and split them up. So let's say the cafeteria could be 2 classrooms and the gym could be 4 classrooms. And then have classroom aides or assistants or teachers or substitutes be in there to monitor the, let's say, Monday, Tuesday kids on Thursday, Friday, so that they could come the 4 days and do their work there. The issue with that is that's only going to get us 1 grade level. So if we do that for, let's say, the kindergarten half, so they're in every day, I don't have that space or those rooms or those staff or the money to pay people to watch kids on the other days in other spaces. So space is the big key, and space turns into staffing, and staffing turns into money. So, and the district is very aware that the area with tax increases to do that isn't something that people are really willing to do either. Plus, I don't have the spaces to do it for every grade level in that quick example that I gave you. For instance, make all the junior and high school students be remote so that those buildings could be used for lower grade levels. Yeah, so now I've got the space assuming that the junior and high school parents like that, because I have a lot of 7 through 12 parents calling every day, begging to get their kids into school 4 days a week because they don't do well on remote. They do better in person. So now we've got that battle. And just because I have the room, now I need all those extra teachers to be there. So that comes into the money. So there are ways to do it where you just say, a certain level is remote and you get the space. That's one way to get the space, but then it's the staffing. NT Learning Center, I don't know what that means. Okay, thank you. He has a meeting in March. Hopefully, we'll find out more then. Oh, that was for the PT. Yep. Hopefully that will be there. Yeah, so it's not easy. I mean, it sounds easy when you only look at yourself, but when you look at everyone else's perspective, how to do it. If it was that easy, every school district in Western New York and across the United States would be doing that. We would have kids in every day, and those kids in every day would be getting great quality instruction, and no taxes would go up. Sign me up, right? That's what we'll take it if we can get it. But the problem is the staffing. So if we can only in these rooms, even if we create them, have 10 to 12 kids, that doubles your teaching population. Yeah, so yeah, we get it. This one says most high schoolers can stay home alone. We would hope so, right? And our kindergarten, first and second graders can't, and parents need to go to work so they would feel safer. I just point out that there are many, many families who have students at the high school who are not happy that they're only there 2 days a week as well, and that they're failing courses or they have a hard time focusing when they're home. So, yes, our kindergarten and first graders would be great and taken care of and provide that sort of respite for parents, and so they know their kids are safe while they're at work. But possibly the failing of a lot of 9 through 12th graders who don't have that self-discipline to do all that work at home online. So it is a tough balance to have there. So we try to be fair, and being fair means sometimes everyone has to feel the pain a little bit. And nobody likes that. Nobody likes to feel any pain or have anything taken away from them. So we get that, we understand that. So we constantly work with the Department of Health. We try to get our updates on the social distancing, the mask wearing, and the vaccine to get schools back to normal. So hopefully that'll happen sooner than later. So we will be back next Wednesday, the 10th. We hope everyone stays safe and warm. And if you are for Kansas City or Tampa Bay, enjoy the big game if you're going to watch it, and may the best team win. We will see you all next week. Thank you.